Welcome to my channel. Have you ever found an old quarter rattling around in a jar, at the bottom of a drawer, or hidden beneath your car seat, and wondered if it might be worth more than just 25 cents? You're not alone. Every day, coin collectors and everyday people alike make surprising discoveries that turn loose change into small treasures. Today, we're diving deep into the story of one such hidden gem, the 1995 USA quarter dollar with the Roosevelt mint mark, P. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just any quarter. This coin, minted in the bustling year of 1995, holds more than just face value. It carries history, art, and, for some lucky collectors, a value that reaches as high as $80. But how did this unassuming coin come to be so special? Why is it that among millions of quarters minted in that year, certain ones have become so desirable? Let's rewind the clock to understand where it all began. The year was 1995. Bill Clinton was president. The internet was just beginning to weave its way into American homes. Toy Story made history as the first fully computer-animated feature film. And in the world of American currency, the U.S. Mint was still producing quarters under the design that had been in place since 1932. Now, before we go any further, you might be thinking, wait, Roosevelt on the quarter? Isn't that Washington? And you're absolutely right. The quarter has long featured the profile of George Washington, the nation's first president. The Roosevelt you're thinking of is found on the dime. But here's where things get interesting. What makes the 1995 quarter special isn't Roosevelt's face, it's the Roosevelt Mint. That's right, the mint mark, P, stands for the Philadelphia Mint, and the coin we're focusing on today was struck there. Some collectors affectionately call it the Roosevelt Mint quarter, but officially, it's a 1995 P Washington quarter, and that P mint mark? It tells a story all on its own. See, mint marks are small letters on coins that tell us where they were made. In the U.S., there are a few major mints: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and occasionally W for West Point. While the mark is tiny, it can make a huge difference when it comes to rarity and value. In 1995, the Philadelphia Mint produced a massive quantity of quarters, over 1 billion, to be exact. That might make it sound like the 1995 P quarter is common. And in most cases, it is. You can find a regular 1995 P quarter in pocket change or coin jars across the country. But, and this is a big but, not all 1995 P quarters are created equal. Then there's another factor: condition. Most quarters you find in circulation are worn down, scratched, or dirty. But a 1995 P quarter found in brilliant uncirculated condition, maybe it sat untouched in a mint roll, or someone saved it right away, can fetch significantly more value. Condition is graded using a 70-point scale in numismatics, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. Coins graded 65 or above are considered gem uncirculated, and those are the ones collectors truly crave. So, what makes the 1995 P quarter potentially worth $80? The answer lies at the intersection of rarity, condition, and demand. Because of that change, coins minted in the few years before 1999 have taken on new significance. They represent the final years of the classic eagle design, and for collectors, that makes them the last of an era. The 1995 P quarter is one of the last coins to feature this traditional reverse before the massive wave of design changes took over American coinage. And what about the people who actually seek out these coins? So what should you do if you think you found one? First, check the date, 1995. Then, look for the mint mark, P, on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Next, inspect the condition. Does it look fresh and clean? Are the details sharp? If so, it might be worth submitting to a grading service for certification. Yes, it costs money to have a coin professionally graded, but if it comes back with a high mark, that small investment could turn into a big return. Now, we've talked about the history, the design, the minting process, and the collector interest. But now comes the part you've been waiting for. The value. Right now, a 1995 P quarter in average circulated condition is still worth about 25 cents. No surprise there. But if you find one in mint state condition, especially graded MS66 or above, the price can leap dramatically. Recent sales and auctions have shown that collectors are willing to pay up to $80 for a pristine example of this coin. $80, that's 320 times its face value. For a single quarter, and who knows, you might have one in your house, your car, or your pocket right now. So the next time you're sorting through your spare change or cashing in a coin jar, pause for a moment. Take a closer look. Pull aside any 1995 quarters. Check for that little P. Examine the surface and see how sharp those details are. You might just have a small piece of American history, one that's worth a whole lot more than 25 cents, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about the hidden value of everyday objects. The story of the 1995 P quarter is a reminder that even the most ordinary things can be extraordinary. And in a world full of digital payments and disappearing coins, the humble quarter is still finding ways to surprise us. Let's take a journey back, not just to 1996, but through the rich layers of American coinage history. Because the coin we're talking about today isn't just any 25-cent piece. It's the 1996 Roosevelt quarter minted in Denver, carrying the small yet mighty D mint mark. And while most of these coins quietly slipped into circulation, clinking around in pockets and vending machines, one in particular has captured the attention of collectors across the world. Why? Because today, it's worth nearly $100, yes, you heard that right. $98 for a coin that was originally worth 25 cents. So what makes it so special? To answer that, we have to begin at the beginning. The Roosevelt Quarter series began in 1932, in honor of George Washington's 200th birthday. But wait, Roosevelt, not Washington? Here's where it gets interesting. That's actually the dime. Franklin D. Roosevelt has long graced the 10-cent piece. But in 1996, something fascinating happened with the quarter. That year marked Roosevelt's legacy in another subtle way. But the 1996 quarter wasn't about Roosevelt himself. Rather, it was just one of the final years before a dramatic shift in U.S. coin design would forever change the look and value of quarters. You see, 1999 was the beginning of the 50-state quarters program. But in 1996, the traditional eagle-backed Washington quarter was still the standard. These coins would soon become the last of an era. In terms of production, over 900 million quarters were minted in Denver in 1996. That's right, over 900 million. So why on earth would one be worth $98? It comes down to condition, rarity, and collector demand. But before we get to value, let's explore the coin's anatomy. The obverse side, the front of the coin, features the familiar left-facing bust of George Washington. His image had appeared on the quarter since 1932, and in 1996, it still held its stoic pose. Just below Washington's chin, on the right side, is the mint mark. In this case, a small but crucial D, indicating it was minted in Denver. This looming design change added unintended value to the 1996 quarter. Collectors began to realize that the 1990s Washington quarters, particularly those in pristine condition, might someday become more desirable. As always, scarcity and timing are everything in the world of numismatics, but here's the kicker: not every 1996 D quarter is worth more than face value. In fact, most of them are still rattling around in drawers and laundry machines, worth exactly 25 cents. The real value comes from condition, specifically, coins that are in mint state condition. We're talking about coins that were never circulated, never touched by human hands, and have no signs of wear. The 1996 D quarter that's currently valued at $98. It's graded MS67. That's nearly perfect. Now, why MS67 and not, say, MS70? Because for modern circulating coins, a grade of 70 is almost mythic. Most coins, even straight out of the mint, don't reach that level due to how they're handled and stored. So an MS67 is a high enough grade to attract serious collector interest, especially when population reports show that only a handful of coins have been graded that high. So let's say someone finds a 1996 D quarter in a jar at home. What should they look for? First, examine the coin for wear. If it's been in circulation, it likely has scratches, worn edges, and a dulled surface. That's normal. But if it looks unusually sharp, if the ridges are crisp and Washington's hair still has clear details, it might be uncirculated. If it still has its original mint luster, that shimmering, almost oily shine, it's worth getting a second opinion. Next, look for any unusual characteristics. Misstrikes, die cracks, off-center strikes, or double dies can all add value. While the 1996 D quarter isn't widely known for dramatic errors, a few varieties have been documented. Some of these errors can multiply the coin's value significantly, and for someone in 2025, that jackpot might just be a shiny, high-grade 1996 D quarter that slipped through the cracks, hiding in plain sight. That's the thrill of numismatics, the idea that history, art, and value could be right in your hand. For many collectors, owning a coin like this isn't just about profit. It's about preserving a piece of history. It's about holding something that connects us to the past, and potentially, to the future. Every time someone discovers a valuable coin in a drawer or a pocket, it reignites that spark of curiosity. Could there be more out there? And that brings us to the big reveal. A 1996 D quarter, graded MS 67 by PCGS, recently sold at auction for $98. That's 392 times its face value. All because it was preserved, protected, and appreciated by someone who knew what they had. That's the power of knowledge, and the reward of paying attention to even the smallest details. So next time you get change at the store, take a second look. Check the year. Check the mint mark. Look at the condition. You never know what you might find. The story of the 1996 D Roosevelt quarter is a reminder that sometimes, hidden in plain sight, is something far more valuable than we ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more deep dives into the fascinating world of coins. Who knows? The next valuable coin might already be in your pocket.